Welcome to Film Fanatics. Guess who's back? The lovely,
Yay.
the debonair, Mr.
Thank
Bruce
you.
Bennett.
Thank
He's
you.
back. So Bruce, I gotta tell you, I am one of those snobby purists.
Yes.
But it's all done
We
out
know.
of love. I adore the original Ghostbusters. To me, it is kind of sacred text. It's a great 80s comedy, and I absolutely love it. And I didn't want anything to do with the new Ghostbusters in any shape or form, especially after Harold Ramis died. But I have to admit that once Paul Feig got involved in this project—
Great director.
Yeah, I softened up a bit. As far as I'm concerned, the guy's 3 for 3. Bridesmaids, The Heat, and Spy. Exactly. I wouldn't call the new Ghostbusters a family film per se, but it definitely is all
Toned
age
down,
appropriate.
for sure. I think it's the surprise of the summer.
Wow.
And not because it's so good, but because you were expecting it to be so bad. The film has a lot of good things. It started out casting it great. We've got 4 great actresses.
Improve beam accuracy by adding a plasma shield to the RF discharge chamber. I have cryo cooler to reduce helium boil up. And to dub it all up, we got a freaking Faraday cage.
Now you remember, if you saw this film when you were 18 years old, you're 50 years of age now, Adam. And so this film really wasn't made necessarily for the people who loved that movie.
Right. You know, there are a lot of people who hated this movie well before it came out, as you may
Which
or may
isn't
not
fair.
know. Just because the film has gender swapped, that's not an issue. The
Right.
question is whether or not this movie is funny. It's a Ghostbusters movie, and I would say that the humor is for me, very hit and miss. Is the movie the disaster people were predicting? No way. Is it a total winner? I would say no also. I would say that it's somewhere in the middle. It's, for me, it was more on the average side.
I say see it in the theater.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I've got to say stream it.
Stream it?
I'm
All right,
going
well there
stream
you go.
it.
What else is in the theater right now, Adam, that we could talk about?
Also new, Bruce, in theaters this week, we have a film called The Infiltrator, starring the great Bryan Cranston. Gotta
Who we
love him.
love.
Breaking Bad,
Right.
absolutely love him. Bryan Cranston stars in the true story of Bob Muzar, an infiltrator in the mid-'80s who would gain the trust of various corrupt types, all in effort to get to the bottom of a money laundering scheme involving Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar. Had this film not been so self-serious and injected a bit of the playful quality of that other too good to be true, but it is true story, Argo, it might have worked better. Alas, no such luck. Most of the funny moments in this picture are purely unintentional. It pains me to say this with such a great cast, but I'm gonna say skip it.
All right, so what else do we have in the theater, Adam? We both liked the BFG. I think you liked it a little bit more than me.
Right.
And both of us felt exactly the same about a very mediocre Tarzan reboot.
Exactly. We also have The Purge election year
What
in
did you
theaters.
think?
I thought it was very mediocre, better than the first, not as entertaining as the second. And then of course we have the box office juggernaut that is The Secret Life of Pets, which you're gonna wanna see.
Yeah.
Obviously the movie hit close to home for me because my wife and I just bought a puppy for my daughter for her 18th
finally.
birthday. It was magical. The movie in the midsection is a little busy, but there's enough in there to offer up a recommendation.
Well, there you have it, another episode of Film Fanatics. I'm critic Bruce Bennett with madaboutmovies.org.
And I'm Adam Mass with Cinemast.net, and we want to give a big shout out to our friends at Megaplex Theaters. And next
Absolutely.
week, I'll be joining you live from a stream in San Diego where I will be at Fanboy Christmas Comic-Con.
Christmas comes early for the Mast family.
We're Film Fanatics.
Are you? So,
Yeah, man.
San Diego.
Yeah.
Good time to go.
San Diego.
Oh, that's right.
It means a whale's vagina.